X-Men Apocalypse? More like exposition. A lot of it. Maybe this is why my dad doesn't love me. All jokes aside, I did actually enjoy the latest X-Men effort from Bryan Singer, which genuinely surprised me, because this being the third major superhero blockbuster in a short run of time, I honestly was starting to feel the effects of genre fatigue. But in spite of this, it still managed to hold my attention. Now, I'll be going more in depth with some of the strengths and weaknesses of the movie with reference to specific scenes, but keeping it in the spoiler-free section of the review for now, I cautiously recommend it. It doesn't ever reach the significant high points of the series, which for me would be Days of Future Past, First Class and X2, but it also never sinks to the quality of the awful, detestable, minging lows. I'd mark it as one of the good ones, but only just because although there's spatters and sprinkles of greatness here, it's all marred by a couple of significant flaws. For starters, it's too long, coming in at my so beloved runtime of 2.5 fucking hours. Why? It's also, as I've already joked, seriously exposition heavy, often choosing to cut to just a random bunch of no-name government types whose sole job in this movie seems to be to explain to you just how badly shit has hit the fan. In a particular cumbersome incident, we cut to these guys, one of which is bizarrely calm as he stands next to a map of the Earth and marks off points that are fucked. In the same way he'd perhaps announced that soup was today's special in the staff canteen. He's all like, okay guys, just want to let you know, disaster is imminent. If I can just direct your attention to the board here, please, I'll demonstrate what losses we're looking at, okay? Alright, so, that's fucked. Oh, that area too. Oh, this whole section is a bit doomed, yeah. And if that wasn't enough to get us to understand what was at stake, another employee, in his best action hero man voice, chimes in with, and I'm not even ad-libbing here, we're talking about the whole goddamn world. Yes, we're talking about the whole world. That is what apocalypse means, yes. Thanks for pointing that out. I mean, the audience probably could have understood the world was at stake when the villain was all like, hey, you know what we should do? Destroy everything in the world? While we're on the subject of the villain, actually, he's a letdown. He's an all-powerful ancient being, so he certainly poses a threat. It's just a shame in the thousands of years he's been around, he didn't manage to find a personality other than Purple Hitler. Well, he was purple. In the final movie, he's actually blue and looks a bit like a swollen Smurf. Wonder why they changed it. I guess the days of fuchsia are past.
Boo, you suck!
I'm trying, Dad, I'm trying, okay? It's more than you ever did. The villain's companions don't make much sense either. See, Apocalypse's whole shtick, as we're told in a very exposition-heavy office scene, is that he always has 4 horsemen. Basically, 4 completely devoted evil companions who help him rule over all with an iron fist. Now the problem is, when he wakes up in the modern day, he needs to find some new ones. Luckily for him, extreme coincidence is in his favour, and one of the very first people he sees just so happens to be the mutant Storm, who also, very coincidentally, he happens to catch using her powers. The two team up and Storm helps him find 3 other members, forming the big evil super team. Now okay, I can maybe buy that Apocalypse just happens to run into Storm. But am I really supposed to believe that just because he made these people stronger, they'd all completely go along with his plan? Like, how did the initial conversation not just go like this? Hey, you're a mutant, I'm a mutant, we should hang out. Aye, that's class. Apocalypse is all like, and then I can make you stronger. Aye, that's mint. And Apocalypse is like, and then we can commit mass genocide of the entire human race and have slaves build monuments from the dirt of the aftermath in devotion to our greatness. And Storm's like, wait, what? But no one immediately questions him, and they're all quite happy to jump on the genocide boat and set sail when only one of these chosen mutants has actual valid reason to truly hate the human race to that absolute level. You know what would have been cool? Some Charles Manson style indoctrination. I wanted to see a manipulative and sinister Apocalypse who convinced mutants to join him not just through a promise of greater power, but a pulsating charisma that got under their skin. Make him this terrifying cult leader, And that'll not only make him more interesting, but also give his followers more grounded reason for following him. But enough about the bad, let's get to the good. Unfortunately, to do that, I'm going to need to go into spoiler territory. So if you haven't seen it and don't want it ruined, then you're going to just have to take my word for it when I say there's some greatness here and check it out for yourself. But if spoilers aren't a concern, I'm going to be talking about specific scenes in 3, 2, 1. Best thing about this movie is Quicksilver. The scene where he runs through the school to save everyone from the explosion is so much fun. It's dripping with this kind of unmatchable cool and is so delightfully superheroic. I'll be deeply surprised if it doesn't put a smile on every viewer's face. Everything about it is nailed with pitch perfect tone. It's perfectly paced, punctuated with just the right amount of humour, and comes and goes in just enough time to not get boring but leave you feeling satisfied. It's the kind of scene superhero movies exist for, and if the rest of the movie was pulled off with as much finesse as this scene, it would honestly be an all-time classic. There's a couple of other inspired moments too. A fight that takes place in Xavier's mind, Quicksilver using Apocalypse as a punching bag, and Magneto punctuating his redemption with a massive steel X mark exactly the kind of bombastic, punchy directing you want in a comic book movie. It's littered with those fuck yeah moments of narrative satisfaction on an epic scale. Performances are all great too, no issues there. The character narratives could use some work though. Magneto, for example, is excellent as always, but he basically goes through the exact same character arc as he has already had multiple times now. Familial death, revenge-driven downfall, redemption through Charles. That's first class. Now in Apocalypse we get familial death, revenge-driven downfall, redemption through Charles. That's not even counting the other flip-flops from good to bad. This dude's had more face heel turns than the Big Show. Mystique has to learn to accept herself again, Beast has to recome to appreciate his beast form. It's fine, it's all good, but we've seen it all before. Wolverine is also in this movie, and yeah, it's a cool bit of fan service. Who doesn't get excited seeing Jackman's glorious pecs? But ultimately, he really adds nothing. It doesn't even make sense in continuity how Stryker has him. Didn't Mystique take him away at the end of Future Past? These issues aside, however, I ended up having a lot of fun with the movie. And its ending left me feeling satisfied with the way the series is going. Now that Magneto's all chill again, and hopefully bloody stays that way for a bit, I'm reminded of a quote from First Class. True focus comes somewhere between the serenity and the rage. Now if we are to infer from this that Charles is the serenity and Magneto is the rage, then maybe the class between them is true focus. And what we're going to see in future films is the evolution of that relationship, where the X-Men truly come into their own through the friendship of Charles and Magneto. And I think that's a pretty good way to take things, because friendships are cool, unlike my relationship with my father.